Fuck! Read the disclaimer. Hello everyone and welcome to the Weekend Review, where we recap the previous week and anything extra. So hello. We were not here for the New Year's for the thing, so the only times 2023 we missed, unless for some news or whatever, was just the November date, and then after, obviously, the end of the year, since we had the whole best of tournament. So we are back with all the live stuff, so hello. So because, obviously, this is the calm before the storm, I thought this would be pretty good just to do a general recap for a lot of the stuff and everything that's going to be coming up for, whether it's Hasbro or Takara Tomy, and that type of stuff. So yeah, we're going to do a bit of a recap in that regard. So we'll first go over just the general recap for this week. So this week in particular was, pretty fun. We did the worst of, which was a very fun tournament stuff to do. We did a lot of content with Wyvern and Gale, the Cat Over stuff. Then after, yeah, just another more general stuff, like just talking about the general situation with remakes and all that stuff. And after that, we did actually plan on trying to do combo challenge stuff, but then after that kind of just went nowhere. After that, this was just like an episode recap stuff. And then after, there you go. And then after, we got some of the 3D print content, which we still have a few more stuff from that old collaboration stuff we did with Crazy Aries there. So you can stay tuned, definitely. If there are more videos that you have left over, just definitely stay tuned for that. Yeah, there's a bunch more. So first of all, quick little plug from allbase.com, because thank you so much for the support for 2023. And just typical, just to mention, it's an optional way to support the channel. I appreciate any support regardless. We have Beyblade X, we have Beyblade Burst stuff, and we'll go over some of the other stuff now, just for the content stuff. So on the 25th, we got some fun stuff. I did the eye catch video, so that was just some nice little VFX work that I did, which was pretty fun. Huge thank you, by the way, to Skyshoe and KO just for the general advice for that type of stuff. But very nicely edited video. In general, the content, for a lot of the big production stuff, a lot of it kind of takes out of me. So this one was like a nice one just to end off the year with for some of the big stuff. Speaking of which, what is the next planned big video? Is it a big history? Is it a video like this? You'll have to wait to find out. But I do plan this year for the content, a particular type of content that's going to be very, very different from the normal stuff that we do, but it's going to take time to get done. But I can promise that when it's out, it will be way above the Bay History stuff and anything that I've done for the channel. It just takes a lot of planning, and obviously with all the IRL stuff, like obviously focusing on my studies, which is very, very important. I'm not going to have the same time like I did during the break, so it mostly was just pre-planning a lot of that stuff. If you are a Beyblade competitive player, I'm getting pretty close to actually finishing the database. So what this basically is just like a wiki thing, I'm taking time trying to update it. Probably by next weekend, everything should be updated, so you'll get all the information competitive-wise, all these quick summary notes, whether it's Hell's Scythe, Hell's Chain, Drawn Dagger, Sword, Feather, the launchers, the stadiums. I thought it'd be a good resource, and originally, it was back in June, I wanted to start it. My father helped me out a little bit. I do have to kind of just manage on my own, just trying to figure out and just try to pick up the pieces from there. But pretty good project that'll be coming up for the future. So, probably next week or so, the database should be done, and I'll post whatever on the thing. All right, so we're going to do the general, release recap, because that way we can just kind of go over it. So in terms of what's for January, There is the mail order, which is the Special Cross Hell Scythe. This is basically, it's kind of just Korokoro filler promotion. It's a mail-in order. It's very hard to get because you have to basically have someone who lives in Japan to do it. So then after, it's not an easy release to actually obtain, but there's a special illustration thing that's in the next Korokoro that Posuka did. And yeah, the parts reference, the 380s from the Night Shield, yeah. Then after the blade is obviously Bird, and then after the bottom is from Common X, so that is pretty cool. And then after, obviously, you have the unicorn, whatever it's called. I'm assuming this is a balance type. We have been speculating it's most likely going to be 560, because that's what we guess the ratchet looks like based on the manga page. And then after the bottom should be a gear taper. I think I might actually have a graphic there. Oh, okay, I have the graphic for this one. Yeah, this is, we did have to digitally alter this a little bit just because the filters were really bad, but yeah, this is just like, this is the first X-Bay with stickers, actually, not counting Drons or S. I'm pretty sure this thing is going to fly off in battle anyways, just because if you look at it, like, there's probably a very good reason why there's no stickers, and that reason is, in battle it'll die. So, yeah, okay, actually, yeah, we have the unicorn thing right here. Just a little bit of a closer thing. I am assuming this should probably have, like, gear taper in that 560. We're going to find out, actually, next Sunday. So, because this is going to get really tricky, because next Sunday is when all the pictures come out for the unicorn stuff, and then after the Korokoro chapter thing. So, most likely, what you'll probably see next Sunday is going to be the news video in the morning. We'll have maybe the live where maybe we do the breakdown, and then after Monday will probably be a double upload where you'll see maybe just the part breakdown, but maybe taken from the live, and then after obviously the manga chapter review. We are careful now just because of the legality of the Korokoro and all that stuff, even though technically any video that really covers it that I've seen is pretty fair. Japan is Japan, so we always got to be careful. Now, this one is speculation, but this one should just be the case. By the way, all the releases until May should be at the end of the month. And I remember talking about this before, and we got that confirmation when we saw the unicorn release date was like the January 27th. So this one I'm assuming is going to be the other team member of Yggdrasil that has like the Sphinx or the Pharaoh Babe. This is supposed to be a random select. If you're wondering what a random select is basically like the Viper Tail thing where it's the prize blade, but it's just, I don't know. I don't like the random select stuff. It's just, random booster is fine. Random selects, it's just trying to replace booster slots just for like random booster filler just to drive in more sales. We are speculating, right? We are speculating this should be potentially a defense type and should maybe have like 980 maybe. And maybe has gear needle, right? We don't know for sure. We're not going to find out till like another month, which I really hate that they're doing that type of promotional stuff. But now we get to all the rest of the stuff. So basically, it's going to be a long wait until we really get a lot of new content. Because now, right, we're going into March. Now, March, you have basically string launcher, 2 grips. What else is there? Starter, booster, and entry set. I mean, let's be honest now, the UX stuff for what slots the bays are going to be are very obvious, and I will just point it out like, hey, what do you think if they're starting something new? What bays do you think they're going to pick? And then after April, it's a random booster, proper random booster, Stadium, BXG, which this should be Drigger S, and then after there's another random select, which I despise. So there is the new Stadium, by the way, the 3-player Stadium. And shout out to Kyo, by the way, for all that translation help from before. But this basically is a new stadium where it's for 3 players, but also keep this in mind. This stadium's kind of like, it's really just for the tournaments in Japan. And what I mean by that is in Japan, and not even in Japan, in Asia region in general, they have a large amount of attendees. So to have a stadium where basically you clear through like 3 players at a time, yeah, it probably saves a lot of time. But yeah, you can basically just see how this works. There is the over zone and there's 2 extreme zones. And this is like the whole points breakdown thing. So only 1 player can gain points per round, last one standing. The amount of points of the total loser is what gets added together. So if one's an over finish and one's a spin finish, that's 1 plus 2. Yeah, okay, you see the example there. Now, the first way is first to 5, or the last one is whoever wins, what is it, 2 consecutives? Yeah, whoever wins, like, 2 rounds. Yeah, there's different methods, but that's kind of the stuff on that. So, we're going to kind of move on from there on the stadium stuff, but the stadium, I'm not sure, actually, is this stadium going to be a separate one that we see? Is this like that set? Is the entry one gonna have this type of stadium? Right? Or what's the case? Or this is gonna be that one separate release that they have? That one I'm not too sure on where they're gonna throw it. Like I said, it's interesting enough. Shipping costs are gonna be insane just because of how big that stadium is. Okay, now what about the Hasbro stuff? We're gonna recap all this Hasbro stuff because I don't like getting asked this like 50 times, by the way. But what do we know about Hasbro? Well, from what I was previously told, officially stated, all this stuff. There's no actual dates. They have officially said it's summer 2024 and fall 2024. Summer 2024 could literally just be that they drop it in June, could be in May, July. We do not know. Fall 2024, more likely than not, will be like the animation when they try to push that out to like the English dub, right? And I basically said wait a few months. Now, from what I was told, right, the bays are not going to be booked. Now, what I mean by that, and what I've been told by that, it's like, for an example, when you look at Ultimate Valkyrie and Ultimate Evo Valtryek, like the bays, from what I was told, are not going to be butchered in that regard. Now, they have also officially stated, right, they're trying to make this as close to the Japanese products as possible. However, how many times have we heard this before? The entirety of Pro Series, and what did you find out about Pro Series? Pro Series took a lot of shortcuts in the production for it, so using a lot more cheaper materials. You don't even have to see my videos on it. Countless people in the WBO have talked about this. Reddit have talked about this on so many breakages. So I'm very, very worried because if, let's say, for an example, on a hypothetical for Hasbro stuff, let's say they decide to use the materials like Pro Series, and if X already, even if these are outliers, so even if X encounters some breakage issues, like if Hasbro has the Pro Series materials on X stuff, oh god. There's also, apparently should be some exclusive content that they've talked about. What that is it a recolor? Is it actual new bays? We do not know. So if you're wondering when we're going to get more information, like probably an estimation, probably only maybe late April, maybe late May, maybe we get something. They have to do a press release. They have to advertise this stuff. You got to keep in mind, by the way, because Beyblade Burst is now dead, right? Beyblade Burst is dead. It's done. They still got to get rid of all the Burst stuff, right? Like, I've heard a lot of people talk about, like, the Pro Series stuff has been terrible distribution, and some people only have the GT Wave, or the GT Waves just don't sell, or the Sparking stuff barely appeared, or the big stadium sets, or the 50 Hyperion stuff. So you gotta imagine that they're probably gonna give a gap for all these months so the stores can get rid of a lot of this crap. TLDR, keep buying from Japan. Oh, yeah, fair enough. Oh, yeah, just keep getting Japanese base. That's also true. Fair enough. That is also a very good point. Now, we're going to get to the fun section here. So I'm not doing a tier list until UX comes out, because if UX deviates from the main system, right, I want to have content that kind of focuses on that specific line. Because keep in mind for Beyblade X, by the way, we are still in Season 1. We are not Season 2 yet. But if UX is going to basically be what would have been like, if it's going to be like a new system, then I will do a full like tier list video, basically like in early March. Then it would be early March. So this is basically my tier list right now. This is just based off of competitive events. So keep in mind how I'm doing the tier list for Beyblade X, because there are different heights and all this stuff, and because a lot of stuff is also based around skill, and not necessarily, like, not just A is greater than B. This is tiered in the way of how much skill does it take for a part to be used. So for an example, right, if a bay is really easy to use, like a Phoenix Wing, it's going to be at the top. If a bay covers a lot of ground and is pretty low skill use, that's Hell Scythe. If a bay can be good but requires a lot of work, that's Rhino Horn. Like for an example, Rhino Horn is a very hard-hitting attack type. A lot of people will tell you it's pretty good for attack, but how consistent is that, or how you know what I mean, that type of stuff. So I thought it'd be just a little bit fun. Just you can pause after this thing, whatever. But this is just my work in progress. Obviously, once we hit March or whatever, you'll probably see it updated. Maybe some things go up, some things go down. Is that Needle and F? No, my friend, that is Spike. I do not like Spike. I think it's the worst bit they ever made. I bought Infinite Achilles, and it already has a stress mark. Well, Seb, see, that's exactly why I literally just did the whole thing of the clicks, because a lot of people don't realize that in battle, it's going to be a lot more force and pressure because the bays are spinning when they lose clicks. So even doing that, even a lot of people that I've talked to, I've seen like Blade Kid who covered originally in Shindog and all that stuff, like the stress marks doing that, that's a normal test to do. I've done it. BBG has literally done the exact same thing for that method. It is the appropriate method to see. But yeah, that's exactly the point. It's just cheaper materials. So glad these bays require skills other than just being... Well, to be fair, too, technically speaking, that applies to all of Beyblade. It's just X is more specific because of the stadium, right? Like, for Burst, you could probably get a... Actually... Well, okay, it depends on generation and meta context, but, you know, that's kind of the stuff. So this might change. Some stuff might go up, some stuff might go down. I don't know. It's really going to depend because I'm basing this off of all the events we host and all that stuff. But we're going to kind of leave this now in the discussion portion. So if there's any questions and that type of stuff, I'm here to answer in a little bit. We'll have a little bit of a section just talking. Hasbro has to lock in now like they did for... Yeah, so exactly. Kind of have it like how they did for like Metal Fight, but probably never going to happen because I'm afraid of Hasbro. They have no reputation. They have no reputation. I like the bro in the Phoenix attack. True, exactly. Gunito looks like a plastic juicer. Okay. What do you think of Hell Scythe as a left spin bay? Maybe as a modded Hell Scythe bay that spins left. Well, yeah, a lot of designs kind of remind me of Plastic Gen, where some stuff looks like it would be for one direction, but they have it for like the other way, if that makes sense. But yeah, and also for the left bay stuff, I don't even know when we would be getting something like that. I think if we're going to get a left bay, and I could be wrong on this, I think the first left bay should be Dragoon S. Probably Dragoon S. It's either that or maybe the summer, because the July releases are always some big release. So maybe in July you would see some. I don't know. Every month we guess who's the next left bay. Do you think we'll get Capricorn-style jumping bay in UX at all, or do you think that it'll be a bit too scary for breakages? That's a very good question. So, I'm trying to actually think. I feel they could. You could do a Quake-style bit, and then after... We did do a 3D print. I think this was a while back. We did do something kind of similar. I mean, if it has like the burst resistance as of an attack bit, it probably won't be good, but you can probably get away with it. Though it depends how far it jumps up. And then after that, everyone's going to complain, the bay jumped in the air and Shark Edge tapped it. So then it like, sometimes they're just circumstances you can't control. Do you think Hasbro will release a blue Hell Scythe at some point? You have too much faith in Hasbro, my friend, that Hasbro would release something like that. Or do you if you mean a general blue Hell Scythe, probably. If you mean the Core promotional one, bro, I don't know. They don't even care about the manga that much. Like, the manga is terrible for localization. Is 960 is better for burst resistance, and I'll say general balance and stamina. I think 960 is the best ratchet right now. Cobalt Drake, yeah, well, this is the Plastic Gen fan. Yes, I also thought Cobalt Drake was left, and I found that it was right. How would you feel about a Beyblade fighting? Oh, sorry, made by that's Arx is never gonna touch this. I don't think Ticker Tomy is ever gonna do something like that big. We're probably gonna get whatever the last company was that worked in it. We would probably get that, but that would be kind of fun. But I don't think we're ever gonna get something crazy like that for a Beyblade game. Do you think there will be a dual spin? Well, a dual spin probably, but you'll probably not see it. We'll probably only see it like next year, if they do it at all. Because they first have to establish there's a left spin, and then they got to do dual spin, right? They got to build towards it. If Hasbro is simplify, cheapen a part of the X system, I think the Ratchet would be my bet. Well, if they're going to cheap it, right, it would just be the general materials. Like, I've seen people where the metal is broken on Pro Series bays, plastics. So it would be the entire thing. That's why I'm very scared. It's going to be very scary if they do Pro Series plastic. Is the anime doomed? I don't know. Let's. How many episodes are we at? Until we get to the halfway point, I don't know if that's. I don't want to be too harsh on the anime right now. I mean, I'm pretty harsh actually on the anime as is. We're gonna do a discussion with Nizuma that you're gonna see for this Saturday. There's still a lot of time for maybe the second half gets better, right? We don't know. We don't know, because I have heard that for OLM they have the staff split or whatever, that type of stuff. Listen, I don't have these specific stuff, but I'll have some faith. Have some faith. If by episode 30 it still is not that good, then you have every right to kind of criticize. We probably won't have, yeah, I do not think we will ever get it. Burst never got a movie. Burst was the only Gen to never get a movie for Beyblade. Metal Fight got one, Bucket Shoot got one. I think it's just because of the fact they go on for so long. I don't think there's time to separate just for a movie. But I don't really care too much about, because at the end of the day, the movie, the Bucket Shoot movie was not good. It was just a movie. The Metal Fight one was at least Metal Fight one fine. I think it's too much probably just to do something like that. The Unicorn Bay for X has similar color. Yeah, it has similar colors to Striker for sure, and has similar kind of that type of detail stuff. When is EX supposed to come out again? March, my friend. Okay. I was mentioning that the Ratchet be simplified. Oh, okay, yes. Probably no. I think it has to be the same. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be so hard to actually just modify the Rat. It's so hard to mess up the original system because they literally cannot get away with it a second time because that's the reputation. That's the reputation. I bought a Phoenix Wing and my gear flat broke. Well, I am sorry to hear that, my friend. That is very tragic. But in terms of other stuff for other general plans, let me just double check. So for general for this month and a lot of the other stuff, once that database once this database comes out, because where's my mouse? Sorry. Working on a database for competitive players so that we have all the so basically you're going to be seeing a lot of, so if you recall Bay analysis videos, that's a mini Bay history stuff. So you're going to see a lot of Bay analysis videos on the X stuff and basically just proper summaries, post-review type content. When is your podcast for the question you guys supposed to come out again? It's going to be coming out, we're supposed to record tomorrow, and you'll be seeing that Saturday. And you're going to be probably seeing the Phoenix Wing combo thing, most likely, maybe also Saturday. I'm just waiting on the art to get done, then after I can record the video. What is your opinion on the limited customizability of X? So, right now, you got to keep in mind that, actually, let me change this graphic. Right now, you got to keep in mind that Beyblade X is not even I think now we're getting closer and closer, maybe halfway done the season stuff, but right now, it's very basic. And keep in mind for Burst, you went through 2 layers series where it was essentially just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 for parts. And then after in God, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? So it's simple riots now. And I think that's fine because I think what they usually do is simple and it gets more complicated. And it's probably also just simple sake just because it's easy to sell and it's accessibility, right? That type of stuff. But I think it's okay for right now. Let's see what UX. Maybe UX adds a new part, or maybe UX is just a gimmick focus, right? I have no idea. Will you add a weight chart by parts in the DB so it can be sorted by release date? Weights low to high, high to low. This is a very good suggestion, my friend. Well, the weights I just planned, if you go on a part, like if you go on Hell Scythe, it'll say the low end and the high end, but a separate table I could. But that would probably be at a later date? Do you think X Kurusu's name is going to change to X? Well, no, probably. Do you like Night Shield? Yes. Hasbro doesn't even paint Cobalt Drake or Phoenix. I don't know. They should. I really hope that they should. Okay, so aside from that, I feel like we covered a lot of good ground. Actually, a very good live, actually. I'm very surprised, actually, at the amount. Usually we do so very much thankful for a lot of people that showed up. And let me know, by the way, for anyone who's here for the live stuff, because we're about to wrap up, what's the best time you want to see me do the live stuff? What's the best time? Because I usually do 5 p.m. Eastern time. But, I just want to make sure that's the right time, because I think we usually did like 3, and then we moved to 4, then we're at 5. I just want to make sure whatever's like the best time. Let me know after this thing is done. But in terms of content stuff I have planned, you're going to see a lot of discussion type content, a lot of the analysis content, that type of stuff. Still plenty of burst content you're going to see. There's some stuff I have to catch up on. A lot of 3D print content, and yeah, for any big videos, it's gonna be a while. And I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not too sure about anything else. But yeah, I think this is the right time to end off. So again, what a wonderful show! Thank you everyone for all the support. I will be consistent every Sunday, right? So every single Sunday there'll be a live show. Unless I am sick or there is some other thing getting in the way, you will see a live show or you will see a normal video for that day. Is Cobalt Drake available to win indefinitely? If not, when you think Hasbro will give it? Cobalt Drake is for, I think you have until May, buddy. Because I think May is when they're going to add the new Rare Bay Get stuff, because they already announced that Hell's Chain from before. If Hasbro will do it, probably how they'll do it, I have no idea. Okay, so then that's kind of it for this live show. Thank you to all the support, everyone. I will see you next week. If there's any questions, whatever, try to leave it in the comment section, and I'll try to get back to you, hopefully as soon as possible. But yeah, man, here's to hoping for a good year. Let's hope for positive stuff. Let's hope. I really hate 2023, so I'm really hoping this year is going to be good. Alrighty, so take care and bye.